Would you consider yourself a procrastinator? Chances are you probably answer yes, because most of us are. There's a good chance you're even procrastinating something else while you're listening to this. And if so, I'm honored. It's hard not to procrastinate when the machine that you're listening to this on is literally a device that has all of the world's information and infinite entertainment right at your fingertips, literally a second away. And that's why procrastination has been called by some the disease of the modern age, because we live in a time of unlimited resources, when literally everything is cheaper to have and easier to do than it's ever been. And yet, we can still find ourselves struggling. So what gives? Welcome to Change Made Easy. Changing your habits, routines, and behaviors is hard. We make it easy. I'm Paul Leviton, and I'm here to help you if you're feeling stuck, stagnant, or burned out by creating positive life change that lasts forever. It's that easy. The great Wayne Gretzky said, procrastination is one of the most common and deadliest of diseases, and its toll on success and happiness is heavy. And while it's annoying to hear, I do agree. I wholeheartedly believe that you have within you everything necessary that you need to be successful in any area of your life. Whether it's your health, relationships, fitness, or finances, you have the answers inside you, and if you don't, they're readily available to you. So what is it that's holding you back? Well, the unfortunate, annoying answer is probably you. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but don't worry, I've also come bearing answers. Understand that procrastination isn't your fault, but it is your problem to deal with if you want to succeed. So today, we're going to talk about what procrastination is, what causes it, and what it isn't, and what you can do when you find yourself stuck in a procrastination loop, as well as how to build a life that you don't ever have to procrastinate from again. So when it comes to solving procrastination, you might think to yourself, I'll do that later. I mean, it's a joke, but seriously, it begs the question, how do you deal with the literal thing that you don't want to deal with? How do you deal with kicking the can down the road when your natural inclination is to just kick the can? So the first step, I believe, is to understand that you are not broken. You are not somehow less than if you find yourself procrastinating. We are in the heyday of social media and quote-unquote productivity porn. So it's easy to get trapped in the mind space of, well, everyone else has this figured out, but I just can't get it. And to that, I'd say you're wrong, because procrastination is a truly human problem. It's estimated that about 20% of adults battle what's known as chronic procrastination. And 50% of people surveyed say that they procrastinate using the internet. And people who are in Gen Z or Gen Alpha, that number is as high as 90%. When surveying college students, it was found that 50% of them self-identified as procrastinators. But even more interestingly, as many as 90% were found to actually procrastinate. So even those who considered themselves to be productive were not immune and actually did procrastinate without even realizing it. That means a full 40% of the responders to this survey didn't consider themselves procrastinators. That points to the murky nature of how deeply entwined this challenge can be in our lives, but it also begs the question of what actually is procrastination. So procrastination, simply defined, is the act of unnecessarily postponing decisions or actions. But the question is, why would you do that? Why procrastinate things that are beneficial for you? Why do you say you want to do something and then not do it? Why do you put off going to the gym or finishing the project or creating a monthly budget? Why do you procrastinate when these are things that you actually want to do and you know that you'll be better off once you do them? Well, here comes the first issue. It's natural to assume, I think, that procrastination is about avoiding a task. So we skip working out because we don't want to work out. We skip doing the project because we don't want to actually work at it. But research has shown that procrastination is far less about avoiding the specific task and more about avoiding a feeling that is associated with that task. And usually, more often than not, it's one of two feelings you're avoiding. So the first, in my experience, the most common feeling that we're trying to avoid is a feeling of inadequacy. And this happens when the thing that you are wanting to do highlights a lack in your current abilities or capacities. So for instance, you say you want to start going to the gym, but you don't know what to do when you get there. You have this desire to get in shape, but when you actually think about putting that into action, it highlights the lack of understanding that you have around exercise and how to work out. You feel like, oh my gosh, everyone at the gym, they know so much more than me. They know what to do and I'm going to look so silly. This highlights your inadequacy. So you procrastinate, you put off going to the gym, but really it's just a bid for self-preservation. This is your mind simply shifting your attention to something simpler, something easier, something soothing. So you might procrastinate by finding something more pressing to do. Oh, I can't go to the gym because I have laundry to do, or I have to finish this project, or I have to write this email. But in reality, it's your brain shifting its focus from something that you feel inadequate in doing, like going to the gym, to something that you know you can handle, like writing an email. The second common feeling that you might be avoiding through procrastination is the feeling of overwhelm that comes with constantly having to do more. And once again, importantly, this is not really about the task. This can be about exercise, writing, doing work in your job, doing work with your family. It's not about the actual thing that you have to do, but rather the effect that comes after having done the actual task. This is called a second order effect. Hey, real quick, we'll be back to the show in just a few seconds, but right now I have to tell you about the free Change Made Easy private Facebook community. If you want to join hundreds of change seekers just like you and get free trainings, resources, and direct help from me in order to help make your quest for change easy, then click the link in the show notes that says Facebook group now. You'll be directed to my private Facebook group that I created just for clients and listeners of this podcast. And as a bonus, you'll get a free hour-long training on eliminating self-sabotage. All you have to do is click Facebook group in whatever podcast app you're listening on right now. Okay, let's get back to the show. So a second order effect is a change that results from you doing the thing. So basically what will happen after you do the action that you're procrastinating? So to continue with the fitness analogy, you say that you want to get in shape. But then your brain goes to, well, what happens after that? That might mean that you have to learn how to exercise, yes, but then you also might have to figure out how to eat healthy. You might have to buy new workout clothes. You might have to join the gym. And you might have to do all of that every day for the rest of your life. So it's not the actual thought of exercising that feels overwhelming. It's all of the second order effects that come along with it. And that is what you're truly procrastinating, this feeling of overwhelm that is associated with doing the task, even though you want the theoretical result of being more fit and going to the gym. So basically, to sum it up, procrastination is a form of self-soothing. It's either self-soothing from the discomfort in the moment, so the discomfort of feeling inadequate or feeling ill-equipped to achieve your goal, or it's a form of a preemptive self-soothing, where you're subconsciously trying to save yourself from discomfort that will come down the road, either directly or indirectly, stemming from the result that you're trying to achieve. If I do well at my job, I might get a promotion. If I get a promotion, I'll have more responsibility. If I have more responsibility, I'll have less time to play video games. I think it's important to understand this because we see that procrastination is not being lazy. It comes from a place of self-preservation. Unfortunately, it's a short-sighted view that actually sets you up for more discomfort in the long run. Because like most things in life, it comes from a disconnect between your present focused mind and your long-term future self. So by prioritizing short-term mood repair in the moment, you shoot yourself in the foot. And you all but guarantee that you're going to have even more discomfort and discontent at some point in the future, usually the not so distant future. But that's not what your brain is thinking about when it's procrastinating. So if you're a chronic procrastinator, or if you're just part of the 50% of people who procrastinate only some of the time, here are some ways you can get yourself out of that stuck cycle, out of procrastination, and moving into action. The first step is to clear out the clutter. As with all habits, if you want to break a habit, you have to make it harder to do. If you don't want to smoke cigarettes, stop buying them. Stop keeping them in the house. Don't keep them in your car. If you want to stop procrastinating, take away the common culprits of procrastination. So what are the things that you do when you tend to procrastinate? For me, it's scrolling on my phone. So I downloaded an app that blocks out the apps that I usually scroll on. There are extensions on your computer that you can use to block out the time thieves like email and Facebook during certain hours of the day. I have a friend who often found themselves swiping and scrolling more than they cared to on social media during work hours, so they delete all of their social media during the week and only re-download the apps to use on the weekends. Do these seem like cumbersome, extra annoying steps? Yeah, and that's precisely the point. If you want to procrastinate less, then you make it harder to procrastinate. Get rid of the distractions directly within your line of sight. Like I said, for me personally, my biggest distraction is my phone. So when I'm about to sit down to do serious work, I have to physically put my phone across the room where I cannot reach it. I'll either charge it in a different room or throw it on my bed while I sit on the couch, somewhere where there is actual, literal, physical distance separating me from the thing that I'm trying to do less of. The next step is to reduce ambiguity. If you listen to the show regularly at all, you will know that ambiguity is one of my most dreaded nemeses. A wise guru once said, procrastination is allergic to clarity. Whenever you have ambiguity in your tasks, in your goals, especially in your next steps, it's all but decided that procrastination will creep in. Saying, I'm going to get some more work done, might as well be saying, I'm going to sit for 5 minutes before scrolling TikTok for an hour. But instead, if you say, I'm going on a dedicated writing block for 45 minutes to work on the book that I'm working on, and then I'm going to take a 20-minute break to walk and have a snack, there's no ambiguity there. Your brain knows exactly what to expect. And as a bonus, you've told yourself what you're going to do after. You've planned for a break. So that preemptively gets out ahead of the feeling of, well, I just need a little break or I just need a little treat. You know that you're getting a break at the end of your 45-minute work block. You know that you're getting a snack. So you don't have to trick yourself and say, well, I just need to get a snack now or I just need to go for a walk. And the third step to defeating procrastination is to break your big tasks into goals or chunks. I mentioned this already. Procrastination often comes from feeling ill-equipped to handle the task at hand. And that means a bigger, more daunting task or a huge goal will make you more likely to procrastinate. So if a big, overwhelming goal makes it more likely for you to procrastinate, then simply flip it. Set small, almost underwhelming goals. And it sounds counterintuitive because you want to set big goals, because if you set big goals, you'll get it done. You'll finish quicker. It'll be over with and you won't have to procrastinate. Except that it never works that way. When you have a big goal, you end up procrastinating more, so you don't ever actually get to it. The way you eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Listen, I've helped many individuals lose 100, 200, even as much as 300 pounds. And you know how they all did it? 1 pound at a time. Every single one of them, whether they had to lose 5 pounds or 500, had to do it 1 pound at a time. If you focus on that big, huge goal, I need to lose 100 pounds, I need to make $100,000, I need to be consistent and doing my X, Y, and Z for 100 days, it can be paralyzing. But when you break it down into its constituent parts, it gives you breathing room and you don't feel a need to push away from it. You don't need to procrastinate it. And this goes hand in hand with the fourth key to beat procrastination, which is don't focus solely on the outcome. Again, big goals can be motivating, but they can also overwhelm. And if all you're looking at is the finish line, it's natural for that to bring up feelings of, well, damn, that finish line is really far away. So instead, you focus on this step that's right in front of you. And then you do it again and again and again. If you haven't already, go listen to the episode that I did titled The One Thing. I'll link to it in the show notes. That breaks down the simple one thing framework that you can use to figure out what your next most important step is. Because the reality is that procrastination doesn't actually stop anything except you. Life keeps going, even if you are not. Time keeps ticking. The days keep passing. And then you've probably experienced this. This doubles down on the negative feelings that you have because it deepens your sense of dread, where now you've wasted more time, you've kicked the can down the road, and you've dug yourself into an even bigger hole. The good thing is that it's never too late. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It is not something that's wrong with you, and it's surely not just you being lazy. It's a human trait, and we all do it. Give yourself the grace to realize that your brain is procrastinating from a place of protection. It's doing it for you, not against you. And then kindly say, no thank you, and get back to work. If you want to end, or at least meaningfully cut back on your procrastination, remember these key 4 procrastination enders. First, clear out the clutter, both literally and metaphorically. Reduce ambiguity. Procrastination loves a murky goal, so get clear on your actions. Once you do that, step 3, break it up into chunks. Don't over-fixate on the end goal. And then, as they say, learn to love the journey, and the destination will take care of itself. That is Change Made Easy. Don't forget about the free Change Made Easy private Facebook community. Come join hundreds of change seekers just like you and receive free trainings, resources, and direct help from me that will help make your quest for change easy. Just go into the show notes of whatever app you're on right now and click the link that says Facebook group. You'll be directed to my private Facebook community that's just for clients and listeners of this podcast. And as a bonus, you'll get a free hour-long training on eliminating self-sabotage. All you have to do is click Facebook group in whatever app you're listening on right now.